Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to U.S. Home Talk. We want to say thank you to the U.S. Home Talk Nation for tuning in every Wednesday at noon Central Time to listen to us talk about real estate, mortgages, credit repair, tips for your house, tips as buyers, tips as sellers, you name it, anything and everything dealing with real estate. We are here to talk about it and help answer your questions. We found out last week that we are the number three show in Minnesota, I think.
Number three, baby.
For real estate and mortgages. So we appreciate the U.S. Home Talk Nation for tuning in and watching our show, whether it's live every Wednesday at noon Central Time or whether you're catching it on a podcast at a different time during the week. I'm your host, Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans. With me, as always, is Jason Walgrave with the Walgrave Real Estate Group at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. And we have Marcus Walgrave, the outstanding, the one, the only real estate agent out in Sioux Falls, South Dakota with Hague Realtors. Thanks for joining, gentlemen.
Well, thanks for having us, Overson, and thanks for hosting today.
Well, you're welcome. I do what I do. I do what I can do when I can do it. And so when you guys email me 10 minutes before the show saying who's hosting and I remember it's my turn, I'm going to step in and do it, right?
Yeah.
So
I think that was clarified last week on who had who.
Yeah, but you got to remember this thing's been hit a couple times in football, in high school and college. So
little CTE.
It's a little. There's a few parts missing. There's a few rattling parts in there. No big deal though. Still here kicking it. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? Today we are going to talk about 10 tips to keep your house cool this summer. Okay? Very pertinent topic because as Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jess said, it's summertime. Right? Summertime's coming up. So we're going to talk about 10 tips to keep your house cool this summer. Actually, we're going to go 11 tips. Jason popped in a little bit before the show. We're actually going to go 11 tips. We're going to add number 11 at the end there. All right, let's start with number one. Number one tip to keep your house cool this summer. Close your blinds. Okay? It is amazing, right? So it's amazing what closing your blinds can do, especially on the sunny side of your house. So if you got, south-facing windows and you got a lot of windows on that side, closing those shades will do wonders for keeping your house cool. Imagine this. Yeah. Imagine this. Your car is parked outside, right? And you have either a no tint, right, on your windows, or you have super dark tint on your windows. Right? The inside of those two cars is going to be completely different temperature-wise if you leave it sitting in the sun all day long. Same thing goes for your house. If you close those blinds, you keep that sun out and keeps it cool.
Yeah, it works really well. I mean, we've got 3 of our kids have windows that face south. And in the winter, when I get them up in the morning, blinds are open, shades are up. I want that sun coming in all winter. But summertime, we leave those blinds drawn. It makes a huge difference on how warm those rooms get. And then it's less your air conditioner has to work, and it's just more comfortable. Everyone sleeps better at night, and so close the blinds. It seems like a simple thing to do, but it's really, really effective.
Blinds can get a little expensive if you hire the professionals to do it, but I mean they're getting really, really simple. Instructions are getting really. You can hang those blinds yourself. You can buy them pretty cheap online as well, and so keep your eyes out for holiday weekend BOGO deals, things of that nature. A lot of our homes are going to have standard size windows. And so they're those are always the cheapest, obviously. If you have a custom home with custom windows, then you have to have a custom blind and they may get a little bit more expensive, but great addition to keep your house cool.
Yeah, that's a good point, Marcus. As almost everyone knows, I'm not very handy, but I can install blinds. And so they're pretty easy to install. Home Depot, Lowe's and Menards, they'll custom cut them. So exactly the measurement that you need, and they're pretty reasonable. So a good place to check out.
So item number 2 kind of goes along with this. It says block the heat. So what does that mean? Isn't that what blinds are doing? Yeah, that's what blinds do. But they also say just block the sunlight and block the heat from getting to your house in the first place. So if you have awnings, right? If you have awnings that you can extend out to keep the heat off your house, that will help. They also talk about planting trees around your house so that you provide they provide shade to your house during the summertime as well, is another way that you can block the heat from getting to your house.
It's so true how effective a tree can be. I mean, I think of all of the track and soccer and all the football, the different sporting events that we go to with our kids, and whenever I'm going there, they're heading out to practice or heading out to the game. I'm looking around. Where's the tree? Where's the tree? Or I'll bring an umbrella or something. But it feels so much better in the shade. Be at the same temperature, same breeze, but if you're in the shade and you can do some shade on your house, it's going to make a big difference.
Even the pergolas, that are just have slates going across, and you're only getting maybe a third of it is shaded by the slates. Even that's going to help a lot reduce the warmth and the heat. So obviously trees is a long-term play, right? I know there's a lot of great nurseries that we have in our markets, but they can only get so big to where they're too big for a nursery tree spade truck to be able to put them in your house. So, but I mean, you'd be surprised. You can get some 25 footers, maybe even bigger in there. And you'll also be surprised on the cost of them. Because again, I mean, with those spade trucks, I mean, it's a simple, they just go out to their field, plug a tree out of the ground, drive it to your place, drive right to the spot and plug it in the ground right there. So, there isn't like the labor that goes into it with the smaller trees. So don't be shocked when you go get a quote and you're like, wow, that's only a couple $100 more expensive than that 15-footer we saw, at the other nursery. So.
Yeah, great tip. Great point. Number 3 here. So this is the number 3 tip to keep your house cool this summer. It says just 2 degrees more, right? So it says, so if you must use your air conditioner, if you set the thermostat just 2 degrees higher, right, you can save up to 10% on your air conditioning bill by just adjusting it up 2 degrees higher. Which is crazy, right? So it's like you get into the dog days of summer where we've had hot summers where, up here in Minnesota and in Sioux Falls, South Dakota as well, where we hit 95 to 103 for like a week straight, which is, I mean, that's hot up here, right? Yeah. All the Florida people are like, that's February weather, where we're at. Well, it's a big news to us because we get it for like maybe a week during the year and that's it, right? But what is your energy bill? Like, what is your electricity bill up here when your air conditioning is just humming all day long up there? I mean, some of these houses are probably hitting $400 or $500 for electricity, right? Pretty easily. So imagine just increasing your thermostat by 2 degrees Fahrenheit, and chopping off $40 to $50 on that air conditioning bill for the month. Yep. And you probably won't even notice it, right? Will you notice 2 degrees?
At night, sleeping I will. During the day, probably not. But there seems like there's a magic number for sleep.
But I think there is some sleep research out there that does have that there's, if you want to keep your house, I think, or your rooms right around like that 66, 68 degrees, you do sleep the best with those temps.
Man, if I had my thermostat set at 66 or 68, my entire family would have like sweats on, except me. But Jen would be walking around in her Canada Goose jacket if it was that cold.
It's all relative, right? I mean, you go down to Texas. My family visited a family down in the Dallas area, and when we were visiting there, it was in the hundreds every day we were down there. Well, they had their AC set during the day. I think it was at 78. And when you come out of 100 plus,
right?
78 felt pretty good.
Yeah.
So I mean, up here it got what was it, 80 degrees a couple days ago. Oh, and I was like, holy buckets, turn the AC on. So
we got up to 88, I think, here in the Twin Cities.
It was warm. It was
88 that asphalt's cooking, huh?
So what do you guys keep your thermostats at, temperature wise?
I mean, at night 67 at night. During the day, in the summer, probably like 71, 72.
Okay. We're at 74. We get 74 flat.
24/7.
Yep.
Yeah, mine's scheduled. I think mine goes up to 74. When everybody leaves the house at about 7:15, 7:30, that's what jumps up to 74 and stays that way until 4. And then it kicks into like 72 or 71 just to cool it off before we get home. And then it drops down to the 68, shortly after the kids go to bed. So get it nice and cool for the adults. So
Right on. Number 4 tip here. Number 4 tip to keep your house cool this summer says adjust ceiling fans. So sometimes you might feel like ceiling fans just push hot air around your home rather than cool it down. Well, you're not wrong. Fans aren't rotating counterclockwise, maybe doing just that. So set your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise in the summer to push air straight down, helping to create a cooling effect.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
a good
clockwise
point.
in winter.
Yeah, it's a great point, Mike. The winter, it should be sucking the air up, and in the summer, pushing the air down. And so, I think there's a lot of people that don't realize that there's a switch on there to make it go the opposite direction to have a different airflow effect.
Yep. Now, there's not a whole lot to say about that there. It's pretty easy to just switch the direction there. All right, number 5 here. We got number 5 on our list of tips to cool your house. Close doors and seal gaps. So it talks about, closing the doors, sealing the gaps, a lot like we do in the winter too. Do it in the summertime to keep that cool air in. But it also says, look for gaps in your, in your air conditioning plumbing coming into the house and things like that. Right. So anything entering or exiting the house, check the seals, check the caulking around it, make sure that is sealed up nice and tight.
Yeah. And I think like for Marcus, for our parents, they've got a 2-story with a main floor master bedroom, and then there's 3 bedrooms upstairs. So in the summer, they close that door going upstairs because there's nobody up there. And so, if they had that door open, you're just wasting that cool air for a space that isn't getting used. So, and then in the basement, a lot of times, in the summer, we're turning off or we're closing the vents in the basement because the basement stays so much cooler than the upstairs. So there's no reason to be blowing, cool air into the basement. It's already cool. So a couple things you can do with your vents and your HVAC system.
obviously you got new construction. There might be quite a bit less airflow with a home like that. Windows are going to be nice and tight, so should doors be. But there's some things you can do out there. Doors are probably the bigger ones that are going to allow more air in your house. Purchasing those little sleeves that you can slide under the door, or even best case scenario would be to install a storm door. Just to get that extra layer of wind blocking and insulation.
Great tip there. Great tip. Number 6 on our list here says hang out in the evening. So it says, in a warm summer day, you're going to draw the shades and you're going to keep the doors closed and you're going to keep the windows closed and try to keep that heat out. But you get a nice cool evening, right? Open the door, open the windows, let the outside cool air come in and cool your house off versus making your air conditioner do all the heavy lifting.
Yep, great point.
Number 7, chill out, not chill on. So it says sip icy cold drinks, apply a damp cloth to your neck, or take a cold shower, cool your body off. As you come in from outside. So, we remember those days if you're out doing yard work and stuff on a weekend and it's super hot out there and you come in, just being able to, maybe cool your own body off before you go in, right? Ice cold water, spraying yourself down, with the hose, jumping in the lake in our case, whatever, cooling yourself down so you don't go in there and start hitting that temperature button, right? Down, and get, crank the air up.
Yeah, those wet cloths that you get wet and then you wrap them around your neck. Those are really effective. We use those all the time and at the track meets and or they've got the little misters and they got all sorts of things to help cool you down.
Yeah, that was the old Mark Walgrave hack for us during the summer months, working in the fields and doing farm work. Is either get your hat wet or get your shirt wet and put it back on, and it definitely made a world of difference. This is kind of a cultural thing. I know this is we're so blessed in our country to have so many different type of cultures and diversity. And one thing I thought was interesting was I helped a family that had moved from Nepal to the Sioux Falls, South Dakota area. And they claimed, I don't know the science behind this. It could just be a cultural thing. I'm not certain. But, what they like to do was drink hot tea on hot days. And they said that helped them cool down, kind of like maybe a psychological an effect. So I think that was an interesting, they're like, oh yeah, you got to drink hot salt tea on days like this. And they offered me one and I was like, whoo, it's hot. I was sweating.
Sweating just
I
looking
was sweating,
at
yep. So, or you kind of, you get over into those other countries as well, and wearing the long sleeves to keep the sun off the body, and I know that's a body thing, but different cultures might have some different ideas and tips on how to stay cool.
I had a roommate in college that I played football with that had a similar theory. So in the summertime, he would not work out. What he would do is he would smoke cigarettes in the summertime. And then when the fall came, he would stop smoking. And his theory was, well, if I smoke cigarettes during the summertime, right, and then I stop smoking, my lungs are going to feel that much better when I stop smoking in the fall when I actually have to, like, run and play football and stuff like that.
Yes, hey.
So,
That's a flawed theory, but I don't know.
No, I mean,
maybe it worked for him.
How did he play in the fall? How did he play in the fall?
you know what? He was an NFL prospect, so at that point,
Whoa.
he was a good player. So,
Yeah.
whatever works for you, right?
Yeah.
All right. Number 8. I kind of like this. I think Jason's going to actually use this one tonight. This one is called Hack-A-Fan, right?
Hack-A-Fan.
So you want it a little bit cooler?
Yeah.
No worries. So a cleverly positioned bowl of ice is all you need to turn a fan into a cold mist machine.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Get a shallow bowl, fill it with ice, and then put a fan behind it and just let that blow on you. And you'll get a cool, icy breeze.
So, all right. So I'm gonna have you guys look this up, Mike and Marcus, Evan, you too. So last summer, I bought what's actually called the Icy Breeze, and it is a cooler. It looks just like a cooler. You can put your beverages in there, but it is a portable air conditioning unit. It's got a rechargeable battery. It'll run for 4 hours. So it's got a little hose. You point it up at your head so you can sit out there and you're watching track and soccer, and you got air conditioning blowing on you. So you can pull that sucker to your bedroom and you're good to go.
I've seen those. What I want
cool.
you to do at some point, Jason, is how like a NASCAR helmets have a hose coming on because they actually pump
Yes.
air and stuff like that.
Yes.
Well, I want you to fashion a helmet that you wear at these track meets and plug the hose from that whatever is called, right? And plug it in there and have the cold air circulate within that helmet. And I want a picture of it too, please.
I'm sure my kids would appreciate that.
I was at my middle child had her spring concert earlier this week, and I did see it was hot in the basement of the school, and a lot of families attended, a lot of little kids running around, and I did see a dad. He had the phone fan.
Oh,
plugged
yeah.
into a smartphone. And it was just held the smartphone, and he was fanning himself off. So
Nice. I love it. Nice. That was number 8. So that was number 8, Hack-A-Fan. So number 9 tip on to stay cool for the summer here says choose cotton. Cotton fabrics are super breathable and help cool your body. So wear light, loose clothing made of breathable fabrics like cotton. And you can even fit your bed with cotton sheets.
Yep.
cotton sheets, linen sheets. I think linen sheets can breathe a little bit better. So if you're kind of a hot body that starts to sweat, that could be a good option too. I mean, I had some skin cancer in 2019, and so I definitely started buying a lot of sun shirts, those UPF shirts. And most of them are not cotton. They're kind of like I don't even know what the type of the material is. It's like an Under Armour. It's real soft, real stretchy, and man, I always found it amazing that if I ever had to do like a golf event for work or for real estate, I'd have all my long stuff on, and by the end of the day, I felt great. You know, I didn't have any sunburn, felt great. And you know, so those are some great options.
All right. So that's number 9. Number 10 here. Probably one of the ones that will make some people think here. So it says change your light bulbs. So if you have trouble cooling your home, the type of light bulbs that you have in there could be one of the reasons. So incandescent bulbs and halogen bulbs are actually being phased out in Australia because they produce a lot of heat. So if you can switch out your bulbs to like LED bulbs or LED lights that run much cooler and they're more energy efficient, you're going to be creating less heat for your air conditioner to overcome.
Yeah. And turn off the lights too. You know, I think we sometimes get in the habit of just turning on all the lights, you know, if you're on the main floor or whatever the case is, and, you know, just turn the lights off during the day. Open the windows as long as the sun's not shining in that side of the house, and turn the lights off. So
yeah, open the north shades and those north windows, open the shades
Yep.
up there, let the light in because they're not sucking any heat in.
Yep.
Close the south facing window shades. Yep. Use natural light.
We can all relate to the light bulb, right? I mean, those older bulbs, like you're saying, the halogen ones, and those are the ones where you have to turn the lights off and keep them off for a couple minutes before you want to swap any of them out because they're just so hot. Or if you change the light bulb on your ceiling, you'll see that there's even like a little burn mark, you know, where the paper above it, the protective paper above it, is starting to discolor from that heat. You know, those LEDs, they have so much lower wattage, but the lumens are going to be the same. The brightness is going to be the same. So it's always interesting. You can have an LED light bulb on, and if you got some thick skinned hands, I mean, it could be on for an hour, and you can at least get it unscrewed and pull it out still. With the other ones, it's like, you know, you'll definitely get yourself burnt. So
Yep. Great tip. So that was number 10 here. Number 10 tip for keeping your house and yourself cool for the summer. And so the last one here, this is one I added here. Tip number 11 to keep yourself cool. And this one actually dates back to the Stone Age, right? This has been around for hundreds of years. You just go commando.
Yep.
That's going to help you keep you cool.
Yep. I mean,
in
that's
the
just,
private of your own home.
it's
I think
tried
is
and
the key
true.
there.
It's tried and true. It works, right? And that's why it's been around for hundreds of years, because it just works.
What if you got leather furniture?
Well, that's a great question.
put that linen sheet down first.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Get your new bed sheets, down. Use that to cover up your couch with. So, well, gentlemen, it was a quick show today. Those were our 11 tips for keeping your house cool this summer. So as our show comes to an end this week, we just want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching us live here. If you are watching us every Wednesday at noon live here Central Standard Time. If you're catching us later in the week on your podcast service, we appreciate you watching our show here and commenting and submitting your questions throughout the week. So on behalf of Jason Walgrave and Marcus Walgrave, I'm Mike Overson with Illuminate Home Loans. We'll catch you next week.